Alright, hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. This, of course, is another anime reaction video. Today, we're going to be getting into more Haikyuu. Haikyuu Season 4, Episode 6. I'm blanking on what happened last episode. Oh, right, last episode, we finished up training camps, which is surprisingly early, from what I remember. I'm surprised that we're already done with training camps, and we're coming back to our main school. There's still only less than a month left until Nationals, so we're not going to be getting it too soon. I imagine it's going to be soon. Because we're only 6 episodes in. We're only halfway through part 1 of Haikyuu Season 4. But I do know we're getting a practice game against Date Tech. So that's going to be really exciting to see how this rematch goes, because they were built up pretty early on as like an intimidating foe that made Asahi want to quit playing. But then we beat them at the beginning of our first attempt at getting to Nationals. But then we eventually lost. So it'll be interesting to see a rematch and seeing how much Date Tech has grown since then, because they have the fact that like Karasuno and other groups are growing have been growing since the start of the series. It means Date Tech has to be. It's not going to be one-sided. It's going to be at least an episode, maybe two, going against Date Tech in a practice match. At least that's what I think. At least bare minimum is what I think. With that all being said, make sure to go down in the description below. You'll find a link to BitChute, where you find the full-length uncut reaction. You can come back to the discussion after that. God damn, I wasn't expecting this episode to feel so short. You know what I mean? I'm almost tempted to watch the next episode right away. Almost. I'm not going to, because I prefer doing one episode of Haikyuu per video. But this episode was really cool. I felt like it was going way too fast. Like, I don't know if I mentioned it specifically, but it felt like the pacing was fast. I wouldn't say that's a bad thing, but they went really fast through, the training. It was only 5 episodes. I felt like it should have been longer. And then they hit us with this game, which is going by pretty slow by all accounts. We're only maybe halfway through the first set of this game, so maybe next episode they'll go through the rest of the game, and that'll be it. But then what happens the rest of? Because I don't know. I don't know. It's not necessarily bad, but the pacing just seems kind of weird, IMO, right now. And I really enjoyed the whole explanation of certain blocking formations, because that's completely new. That's never been mentioned before in the series. So, again, learning something new about volleyball is always interesting. But I'm noticing it now that I've been rereading, or reading, not rereading, just reading the manga. Because I recently finished reading the manga up to volume 8, which is about the end of season 1, and I didn't notice it, and it didn't really like bother me when I was watching the first 3 seasons, but in the manga and in the anime, I'm noticing a lot more. There's a lot more dialogue than I thought there was. Again, I'm not gonna say it's a bad. In the anime, it doesn't feel like a bad thing at all. Like, listening to all the dialogue and reading all like the dialogue and like seeing things moving on screen while they're still explaining it, I don't have a problem with that at all. Exclusively like the amount of dialogue is a problem I have in the manga, which which makes me feel like it's like so much slower and less interesting. Mostly because it's just, it's hard to explain why I feel that way, but that's why I prefer the anime over it, because I never noticed it until I started reading the manga. And even now, when I notice there's a whole lot of dialogue in these episodes, I'm still like totally fine with it. I barely notice it all. The only problem I had is he's going too goddamn fast now. There's no way. It feels like it's such a weird place to end the episode anyway. But again, not something I notice in the anime, so I still really like it. And I'm so like into the fact that they're giving Date Tech like legs again, because they were kind of like, they were built up pretty hardcore at the beginning of season 1, and then we just sort of beat them. Not effortlessly, obviously. We're never gonna beat someone effortlessly in Haikyuu, but it's just kind of one of those things where it's like they were cut down by us, even though they should have been giving us super tough time. Because I know Alba Josai was the emotional core of the second half of season 1, but then Date Tech just kind of never showed up again. I don't think they won any games. They didn't win prelims to this nationals, obviously. And then, like, they only ever showed up I can think of for like little comedy bits where like I think there, if I'm remembering correctly, in one of the past seasons, somebody was talking shit about Hinata and like Aone, the white haired dude on Date Tech's team. He was like, him and someone else were like upset with the fact that people were talking shit about Hinata for him being short and potentially not being useful because of that fact, even though they know firsthand that he's still amazing even though he's so short, which was great. But seeing them finally again in a match, actually like not necessarily like kicking ass, but actually like being really like a formidable opponent again. Like, because I said it before, so far for me, the ultimate enemy so far in the series has of course been Shira Torizawa, because they were built up for 2 seasons straight, and then there was a 10 episode match with them in season 3, and it was amazing. But looking at them as just the strongest team because they have like the tallest people and the the strongest spikers is like so like narrow minded, and that's part of the reason why I think Haikyuu is like it's got that sort of magic to it, because it's not about strict like power levels or whatever you want to call it. Like, sure, you can technically rank them as being objectively better than each other, but what's so great is that because we're all just like normal humans, and volleyball is more about technique than it is raw strength, just improving the skills you have and then going up against the same team that you beat last time, it's not going to be the same match. They're the same people, but they're doing things differently now because they've learned how to change. They've changed things up. They've learned they're doing different things, and so I think that's really cool. Which also makes me hope for a Shira Torizawa rematch, just to see how much more intense that sort of thing could actually be. Because Lord knows they're already pretty tough by themselves. But again, I felt like that was a weird place to leave the episode, because that wasn't like it just melt. It's not like a huge cliffhanger. It's just like a what the hell moment, and then it's like, oh, that's the end. Oh, well, now I want to watch the next episode. And I didn't watch the episode. I'm gonna wait to watch the next episode. But it just felt weird. It didn't feel like it was built up the way it ended. It just kind of like happened. You know what I mean? But I am curious to see what exactly Kageyama means like that. And I don't think they mentioned it, but Kogane, when he did the setter dump, he had like a facial expression, something. He felt some type of way before he did that. I'm curious as to what that is as well. It's just, I don't know. That felt like a weird place to stop it, in my opinion. I don't know where they should have stopped it, but either way, that's pretty much all I had to say about this episode. If you watched to the end and you enjoyed, make sure to press that like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss a single upload in the future. Thank you all once again for watching. Peace.